Morning. Let us wait to see who comes on live. So, my name's Dion. This is our lockdown live yoga. For those of you watching, this is the big pause before people jump on and join us. Good morning. Ali, you've changed your profile picture. Didn't recognise you. Who is this person? It's Ali's avatar. Ali, Susan, Claire, good morning. Good morning. Susie is on. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, Ruth. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Kath, hi Kathy. How you doing? Hello, Claire. Yeah, you've got the sisters on. Ali and Claire. Good morning, Jan. We've already chatted today. On here. So, the sun's back again. Yay! Unfortunately, I'm in the shade here. Because I can only get Wi-Fi in the shade. Not that Wi-Fi doesn't work in the sun, but it's too far. It doesn't reach that far. So, how are we today? Mo, what are you doing online? You should be asleep, I'm sure. I'm sure this is like silly o'clock in the morning for you, or late at night. Get to sleep, woman. All that dancing's giving you too much energy. So, we are going Monday with some backbending. Morning, Brenda. Morning, Sue from London. So, backbending really invigorates. Hi Heather. Backbending enlivens, invigorates, it gives us confidence and really wakes us up, whereas forward folding is quite kind of introverted and calming. Oh, cold and wet Scotland. Claire, well, we've had a cold and wet Spain for a long, long time, so I feel you. I feel the pain. So yeah, we're going to start, but not only backbending, we're going to be moving our spine in every direction. So twisting, forwards, backbending. So we're really going to wake up the spine today and stimulate the nervous system and get everything flowing from Monday morning. So really starting the week on point. So I'm going to, good morning Carmen, I'm going to move back onto my mat and we're going to start seated. No downward dogs today, I don't think, or maybe one or two just for a transition, but nothing big. No sun salutations this morning. I am going to take my little rug underneath my bum because, as mentioned before, this floor slopes away. I don't want to be falling on my back. So any comfortable seated position, if your hips are tight, if your lower back's tight, please prop yourself up on a blanket or a block so you've got that nice support in the spine. Okay, let's just give the shoulders a big roll up to the ears and down. So move through those shoulders. Morning Frida, hey Claire. Just a little movement through the shoulders. Nice rolls. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and then take them forward, back up, forward and down. Big rolls this way. Oh, feel that? I did some very simple yoga classes this week. It was not traditional yoga, it was using a lot of isometric strength, so it's kind of using resistance pressure to engage muscles and doing postures where we've got pulling action, because in yoga we're often pushing and not pulling, so using these other muscles. In about 20 minutes, oh my wordy, my shoulders and my triceps were on fire yesterday after doing that. Really simple, 20 minutes. I felt like I'd been doing a big weight workout in the gym. Okay, let's come to seat, settle down, let the shoulders drop down, bring the hands, interlock the fingers, bring the hands to the heart. Let's just take a couple of breaths here. Feeling the heartbeat underneath the hands. Let the eyes close. Little connection here with the breath, the body. So another thing I've been doing this weekend is a little course on breathing and the breathing in yoga and all the aspects of our breath, how the diaphragm works. But one of the little thing that stuck with me is our breath is our connection from our mind to our body. So the mind thinks things, the body does it, and in between we have the breath. And you'll notice how your breath changes when your mindset changes. For example, if you're scared and you have that mind, like something in your mind, oh, there's a spider, I'm scared. You'll notice that your body starts to cause certain things. So maybe your stomach starts to go, your heart starts to move faster, you'll start to perspire. And in between that, the breath changes. Then when we can bring the breath down, the body reactions start to calm as well. Okay, let's take the hands on the knees, a few blinks to open the eyes if the eyes are closed. Inhale, so some seated cat-cow type postures. Inhaling, bring the chest forward, lift the heart to the sky, shoulder blades back and down to lift the chin slightly. Exhaling, draw the belly button to the spine, round the back, chin to chest. Inhaling, heart up, shoulders back. Exhaling, round the spine, chin to chest. Inhaling. There's big movements in the spine. Exhaling. Inhaling, shoulders back, heart is high. Exhaling, round the spine, draw the belly button in. Last one, inhaling. And neutral spine, release. Bring in hands to heart again, interlock those fingers, breathe in deeply here. Exhale, push the palms forward, round the spine. So similar action to what we've just done. Now we're just pushing the palms forward. Inhaling, palms to sky, reach up high. Shoulders back, chest is high. Exhaling to the right. Inhaling, center. Keep both sit bones down on the floor as we exhale to the left. Keep that right sit bone down onto the floor. Inhaling, center. Exhale, back to the heart. Now change the interlock of your fingers. So notice whatever little finger is on the bottom and bring it up so the interlock is the other way. It'll feel a bit weird. This is not the normal way. Bring the hands to heart. Inhale here. Exhale, palms push forward. Tuck. Stop. Exhaling, left side. Keep that right sit. Inhaling, center. Exhaling, right side. Keep that left sit bone down. Nice stretch in the waist. Inhale, center. And exhaling, hands down to the sides. Going to take the right hand onto the left knee. Left hand behind. Lengthen the spine. So imagine someone is drawing you up from the crown of your head. Spine is really long. And then twisting to your left. So we're twisting from the waist. So hips stay centered. And we twist from the belly button. Ribs, chest, shoulders. And maybe we can look over that left shoulder. Few breaths. Move the head first, the shoulders, the chest, all the way back to center. And the opposite way, left hand on the right knee, right hand behind. Lift and lengthen first, create lots of space with the spine. And then we twist, 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 twist to the right. From the belly button, waist, ribs, chest, shoulders, and the head. Every inhale, feel lengthen the spine. Every exhale, twist in a little bit deeper. And releasing back center, head, chest, all the way back here. And then we're going to take that right arm lift. Again, important to keep both sit bones down on the right hip. Into the sky. And over to the left. So we really want to feel the waist, through the ribs, through the shoulder. You might be able to take that left hand further away, closer to the floor. Don't let this arm drop in front of the face, otherwise you're going to lose all of your side body stretch. So the arm stays in line with the ear. Again, if we're imagining sitting wall, so the back of your hips are against the wall and the shoulder blades stay against the wall, so we're not twisting forward towards the floor. Big stretch here, feel that nice stretch in the waist. Really reach through those fingertips. And then pulling up the pelvic floor, pulling the belly, come back to center, and the left hand goes, right hand goes down, left hand comes up, reach and stretch. And over to the opposite side. Keep that left sit bone on the floor. Hold it there. Notice how that feels. If you think you can go a little bit deeper, then we can come a little bit lower, stretching through that waist. And then pulling that belly, coming back to center. Remember, always engage. That's going to support the back. Okay, so similar posture here. Right arm comes up, but this time you're going to bend from that to the back of the head. So I'm really cupping my hand to the back of the head here. I'm just going to turn round so you can see what happens behind. So this is my right hand, back of the head, and same action, I'm going to lean over to the left, and then as I draw in the belly, exhaling, I'm going to twist from the waist so that my heart and face look up to the sky, and I'm resting my head in my hand. So my head is completely supported in my hand. So I'm getting a little open in this left shoulder, get the twist of the spine, and a stretch in this right tricep as well. Okay, inhale deeply, and on your exhale, going to bring that right elbow to your left knee. So hug in the belly, round the spine, elbow to knee. And inhale, come back up to center. And release that hand down to the floor. And we're going to do the same with the opposite side. Left arm reaches up. Drop the hand behind the head. And exhale over to the right. Inhale, and then draw in the belly and ribs, and exhale, twist from your waist up towards the sky. So your head is completely supported by your hand. Relax your head, relax your neck. Your head is really, this is what's going to cause this little stretch in the tricep here. And pulling in the belly, coming back to center. So just move the spine in all directions. Release that hand and come down onto your belly. I know already, the belly. So walk those hips down the mat, walk the rib cage up, bring the chest down. I'm just going to have a few little cobras. So your hands are going to slide down your mat so that they're level with the center of the rib cage. I'm going to draw the elbows in towards the ribs. All 10 toenails down on the floor. Pubic bone presses down on the, I can't speak today. Pubic bone presses down on the floor. And we lengthen and lift. Lift the heart. Shoulders back and down. Exhale down to the floor. Inhaling. Shoulders, rib cage off the floor. Exhale down. Your cobra might be much smaller than this. It might be a really small movement. Next inhale, come up. You might want to press into your hands a little bit and lift yourself up, but please don't lock your elbows. We're not using arm strength here. Elbows stay soft and tucked in. Exhale, come down. One more time. Inhale up. You're going to hold it here. Toes, thighs, pubic bone pressing into the floor. Lengthen the lower back. Maybe the hands can come off the floor. Neck is long. Few breaths here. Hands down onto the floor. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips. Downward dog. And just walk that dog out to drop in one heel and the other. I've got bits of paper flying everywhere. One heel and the other. Nice and easy. Little walk. And then walking those feet up to the hands. Keep the chest low. Knees are soft. You might need more of a bend in your knees. You want to keep belly and ribs onto the thighs. Feel a length in the spine. And then hands to hips. Pull in that belly. Lift the head, lift the chest all the way to the sky. Palms together. Inhale, down, out and up. Let's flow. Couple of rounds. Exhale to halfway up. Shoulders back, spine is long. All the way over, nose to toes. Those feet, lift the heart, hands together. Exhale. Hands to the heart. Inhaling, down, out and up. Exhale to the floor. Halfway up, shoulders back. All the way over. Nose to toes. And all the way up, belly in, palms to sky. Exhale back to the heart. Two more. Inhaling. Exhaling. Halfway up. Nice flat back. All the way over. And all the way to the top. Exhaling to the heart. Last one. Inhaling. Exhaling. Halfway up. And over. And all the way to the top. Exhaling back to the heart. Come in to stand in your mountain pose. So your feet close together, big toes almost touching, heels apart, shoulders back and down. Just feel that energy up through the floor, so weight is even on both feet, left and right, front and back, side and side, all four corners of the feet. Pressing down into the floor. Engage the legs, so imagine your thighs are drawing into your thigh bones, and we're lifting up. Pelvic floor lifts, belly lifts, spine is long, shoulders back and down. Turning the palms out to the sides and lift them shoulder height. Reach through those fingertips, shoulders slide down. Few breaths here. Make sure belly stays in and rib cage stays down. So you don't want to let this rib cage pop up, hug it in. Keep that action in the torso as we bring the arms up in line with the ears. If that's too much for the shoulders or the neck, you've got any shoulder and neck problems, you might need to bring your arms a little bit further in front. Otherwise, I want them here. And then, if you can, hands together, heels of the hands, fingertips. So I think my hands have gone off screen. This is what they look like, heels of the hands, fingertips. So if you've crossed your thumbs, uncross the thumbs and notice the difference in that, how it feels. Shoulders away from the ears, so we don't want the shoulders up here. See that light that comes in between shoulders and ears? Few breaths. Okay, going to interlock the fingers and make a steeple now, just like this. Upper arm still squeezing against the ears. Keep that action going on through the body. Pelvic floor, belly, rib cage down. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, going to fold to the right, folding from your waist. Might be a small movement, you might be able to go a little bit bigger, but watch, don't push your bum out. Don't let your heart come down towards the floor. We don't want this action. We're just sliding to the right. Feel that stretch down the left side of the body. Weight even in both feet. Keep control of the abdominal muscles. So you don't want your back to be doing this. You want to give your back support, give your spine support by drawing on the belly. Next, inhale, going to come up center. Lift and lengthen, exhale to the left. So you see how we're taking our spine in all directions. We're working the core, all the muscles around the abdomen, the waist, the back. We're also moving our spine in every direction it goes. Few breaths. Inhale, come up. And this time, we're going to push the bum away, bend the knees, push the bum away, and come down halfway. So we're reaching forward with those arms. Imagine someone's pulling your fingertips forward and pulling your tailbone back. And we're going to lower the belly, the rib cage onto the thighs, those hands. Fingers, they're still interlocked. Going to move back a bit. The fingers are still interlocked. Index finger touches the floor. And then you're going to start to draw a line in the floor. So draw forward towards the top of your mat. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Relax the neck. Relax the head. Your gaze is to your toes. Feel that length in the spine. It's like somebody is pulling your spine in both directions and really create lots of space between the vertebrae. If you have any back problems, any disc problems, herniated discs, anything like that, please keep your knees really bent in your forward folds. Okay. Pull in the belly, lift up halfway, lengthen, push into those feet, pull in the belly, come up all the way. Exhale, bring the hands back, all the way down to the sides. So we've gone all those directions. Let's go back. Feet wider. So you want your feet shoulder distance apart. All 10 toes pointing forward in the same direction. You don't want your feet coming out to the sides because this is going to open up the hips and you're going to squeeze onto that sacral joint. So you want everything facing in the lower back nice and open. Hands on the hips and bend those knees deeply. Really bend. And then start to push your thighs up to the sky. So knees are really bent. You start to push the thighs up and turn those hip bones up. See how this lengthens? So effectively you're kind of chucking your tailbone. Your tailbone is shooting down towards the back of your knees now. And you should feel a stretch in the quads and the hip flexors here. Right, we can just hold it here. A few breaths. Do you feel that stretch? Sit down a little bit deeper. You might feel a big stretch in the calf muscle if you're really tight in the calf. But I bet you've forgotten about your belly. Draw up the pelvic floor, draw in the belly, and then feel that little shimmy and shake that happens in the body. Everything starts to wobble a little bit because your core is starting to keep you there. Push into those feet, squeeze the bum, come all the way up. Whoa, hands to the heart. So, hands in prayer, thumbs to the heart. Same action, bend those knees and then push those hips forward and then sit a little bit deeper. Keeping this action through the hips, you're going to start to lift your heart. Imagine your heart is being lifted towards the sky. A few breaths. Shoulder blades drop back and down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Keep this tailbone shooting down. Keep length in the lower back. Feel these wobbles. Press the feet into the floor. Push the feet down. Squeeze those thighs. Come all the way up. Wow. So if you're feeling cramp, if you're feeling any pinching in your lower back here, what's happened is you've dumped into your lower back. You've let your bum come back and you've collapsed down to the lower back there. So you want to keep this lower back really long and your back bend from here. So we lift up the rib cage and we start to move from the top. So we're going to try that one more time. Hands together, bend those knees. Really important to get a good bend in the knees. Push the thighs forward, hip bones shining up to the sky. So it might be that you stay here and you're going to feel this big stretch in the quads. We're still getting a little back bend, so you can stay here, shoulder blades back and together. Or someone's lifting your ribs, your heart to the sky. And we breathe. Keep control of the belly, the pelvic floor. Few breaths. And push down and come all the way up. Inhale, out and up with the arms. Exhale to the floor. Halfway up. All the way over. And all the way. Exhale back to the heart. Going to take one forward fold just to counter pose. So feet are wide. Wide leg, forward fold. All 10 toes facing forward, facing the same direction. Hands on the hips. Bend those knees. Push the bum away. Bring the heart forward. Few breaths. Next exhale. All the way down, folding from your hips. Chest comes between that space in the thighs. And the hands come to the floor. So remember, if you've got unmedicated high blood pressure, you're going to stay up here. You're going to stay up here with your heart in line with your hips and your head above your heart, okay? But if your blood pressure is healthy, we're going to bend those elbows and come all the way down. Hands to the floor. And your hands are shoulder distance wide. Maybe you're a little bit higher, but if you can, if you're there, bring them back so that the hands are in line with the feet. Relax the neck, relax the head. Few breaths here. Nice and deep. Remember, soften the knees, lift the tailbone. That's where you're going to get that length in the hamstrings and the back. Next inhale, lift the head and chest halfway. Hands back to the hips. Pull in that belly, push into those feet. Come all the way up to the top. Heel toe those feet together and bring the legs together. Okay, let's float it to the floor. Inhale, down, out and up. Exhale, soften the knees, push the bum away, hands to the floor. Halfway up. All the way over. And walk those feet back. So we're going to come down on into plank because it's fun. And then lower down onto the belly. So you can either drop the knees or you squeeze those elbows in and gently lower down. A little bit of arm work, strength work, all the way down. Oh, and here we are on the floor. So again, before we move anywhere, create that length in the spine. A lot of people suffer with pinching or cramping in the back, and that's because we've not lengthened out the space between the vertebrae first. So always take a moment to do this. So, down onto the chest, arms are in front. I'm going to bend that right knee. And we're going to reach back. Okay, thumb up. Reach that arm back, inside of the foot, and bring it in towards the bum. So your thumb is just behind the ball of your big toe. Elbow is bending. If this feels really accessible, so you might have struggled just to even get hold of your foot, and if your shoulder won't rotate this far to take hold of the inside of the foot, just take hold of the outside of the ankle. Right, this might be where you're at today. But if you've got the openness in the shoulder, take hold of the inside of the foot. If you've easily got hold of your foot and you're not feeling any stretch in your quads in the front of your thigh, you're going to come up onto the elbow and lift the chest. So your shoulders are facing forward. You don't want to be twisting here. Now, I might be because I'm watching you, pretending I can see you. But you want both shoulders facing forward. The higher you come on the elbow, the more intense this is going to feel. Okay, yes, we're closer to our foot, but we've now put in a back bend. Okay, so now we've got opening in the chest, we've got the back bend going on, we've got more stretch in the hip flexors. So if we're here, I'm going to bend that elbow and bring the foot, the heel, to the outside of the hip. Okay, so we're not trying to bring it to the center of the body, we're trying to bring it to the outside of the hip. So see, I've got my thumb on the inside of the foot, fingers on the outside. If you've got the flexibility in the rotation, you might be able to twist so that elbow comes up to the sky, fingers over toes, and we can push down on that foot. It's called frog posture. This is half frog. Doing this both sides is a full frog. This is just half a frog. So again, pubic bone into the floor. You don't want to dump into the lower back. Heart is high, shoulders are back. So we've got lots going on in our back bends. It's a big front of the body opener. Flexibility required in the shoulders, the abdomen, the quads, the hip flexors. So people think about back bending always being in the back. We need to really be open in the front of the body to be able to back bend. Release that leg down to the floor. And we're going to do the other side. So left knee bends. And it might be different this side, so work with care, just notice how it feels. Again, thumb up and reach back, take hold of the inside. Again, remember if you haven't got the flexibility, just hold on to the outside. I'm going to take hold of the inside. I'm going to be sitting high. If this is too much, remember you come down lower, rib cage, chest to the floor. Okay, takes away that intensity. Otherwise we're higher. We're going to start to draw that foot in and to the outside of your left hip. Few breaths. Please watch the knees, so if you're feeling any pain or resistance in your knee, please do not force it, so never try and force through resistance. Sometimes our body tells us no just by resisting. It doesn't always give us that indication of pain. So don't think just because it's not painful it's okay. So really start to understand your body and how it feels. And releasing that leg. Bring the rib cage back down onto the floor. Again, taking a moment to lengthen the spine. Give those hips a little move side to side. And then both knees. And we're going to reach back, reach back, reach back. Take hold of the ankles. So if you're just reaching your toes, this is fine. Take hold of the toes. If you're reaching the top of the feet, that's good too. But if you can, reach down to the ankles. Then we can flex the feet. Push the feet or the ankles, the shins, into the hands. This is going to start to peel your chest off the floor. Really use those legs to create this action. And then push up to the sky. And the thighs lift off the floor. Shoulders are down away from the ears. The neck is long. Don't feel any pinching in the neck. Remember, you might be here. You might not be able to reach your ankles. You're just working on trying to get those thighs off the floor and reaching back towards the legs. Anything, any posture. But notice, those of you that have been with me all the way through these 50 days of yoga, notice the difference. Like a few weeks through this, where are you now? So many people messaging me to tell me practice has been. And we're moving through these classes much faster. We're getting more content in than we were in week 1. So well done. Are you still breathing? Are you still there? Are you still breathing? Release down to the floor. All the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Relax the head. Now this is your prone relaxation. Legs are wide. Turn your toes out so your big toe side of your foot is down onto the floor. This is going to relax the legs. And then opposite hands on opposite chin. Rest the chin on the wrists. This is called crocodile pose, Makarasana. And it's your relaxation when we're down on the belly. So just feel any tension melt away into the mat. Let the back ease off. And enough of that, hey? Let's do one more. So release those hands. Bring the legs in. Press up onto your knees. Let's just take a little child pose again just to counter that. So bum towards the heels. Arms towards the front of the mat. Stretch it out. So with this pose you should feel a nice release in the lower back. Really nice down through the lower back. And then we're going to walk the hands back to the knees, lift the head, lift the chest. Up onto the knees, so my little blanket. But if you haven't got a blanket with you, just fold your mat up a couple of times to rest your knees on. Oh, I think I've just got a mosquito bite on the sole of my foot. Oh, what a nightmare place to get a mozzie bite. Oh, itchy. So, we're coming up onto the knees. Now the knees are hip distance, so we've got hip bones, so there's a little space between the thighs. You don't want the knees together and we don't want them out here either. So just think about this nice straight line from the hip bones down to the kneecaps. Okay. I'm going to place the hands on the back of the hips. So again, I'm going to turn around, so the fingers are pointing down, and you're going to squeeze those elbows together, squeeze the elbows and shoulders together, so you feel this flat bone on the back of the hips. Lifting up through the pelvic floor, belly is engaged, and you're going to press down into the back of the hips and push those hip bones forward and up. So these hips here, instead of facing down towards the floor, we want to lift them up to the sky. So pressing down onto the back of the hips, squeeze the shoulder blades and elbows together. So you've got little back bends up at the top of the back. Haven't got the best clothes on today to demonstrate these back bends too, because this top is quite loose, so you can't actually see the shape of my back. Something for me to think about in future. Lifted, belly in, come back, sit back onto the heels, just let that ease away a little bit. Now if you found that quite intense, that is going to be where you're going to stay today. So remember, when we practice yoga, we're always given different options. We always start at one point and we work through the posture. You stay where in that place that feels the best for your body. So if you're not feeling comfortable, if you're in a position and your breath is laboured, if you're struggling to breathe, if you're holding tension, please don't move on to the next level. Okay, stay where you are, stay with your breath, stay with your posture. So this is not a race to get to the end. Okay, come back up onto the knees, hands behind the hips, lengthen the spine, squeeze shoulder blades together, and we start to lift those hip bones up towards the sky. Lift the rib cage. Imagine someone's got hold of your rib cage. So same as in our stand-in, back bend. Rib cage is high, heart lifts high. Lift the heart to the sky. So your head here, whatever feels comfortable, so you can be with the sky, you can let your head drop back. I personally don't like, I tend to keep my chin lowered a little bit. Okay, pull up the pelvic floor, pull in the belly, come up to seated, down onto the heels. Back bend, don't just relax the belly, okay? We're not just thinking about the back, it's really important to keep active through the front of the body. I'm going to take one more time. Oh no, we might do 2 or 3. Come up onto the knees, hands behind the hips. So remember your position. You might just be staying here, pushing down onto the hips, lifting the heart. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great feeling, especially for the front of the body here. If you feel you can go a little bit further, you're going to slide those hands down towards the back of the thighs. Same action, shoulder blades squeezing together. A few breaths here. Or maybe you can go a little bit further and you can actually reach your heels. If you tuck your toes under, your heels are going to be closer. so it's a little bit easier. And lift up. You don't want your thighs to rock back here. Imagine there's a wall in front of you and you've got your thighs pressing against the wall. Lift the heart, lift the ribs, and then walk the hands back to the back of the thighs. Pull up the pelvic floor, squeeze in the belly, bum to heels. It's our last one. I know it's quite intense, the camel pose. Ustrasana, camel pose. So, always working carefully. So a lot of people with back problems, particularly herniated discs, are really scared about back bending, when actually it's forward folding that is going to be more damaging to you. So back bending is good, but with everything, practice with care. Let's come down onto the backs. Okay, so let's just ease that out a little bit. Let's bring the right knee in towards the chest, squeeze that thigh in, and if it feels okay, straightening that left leg out and bringing it down to the floor. So get a little stretch in the front of that hip flexor there. And then we're going to change opposite sides, left knee in and right leg out. Oh, that mosquito bite in the sole of my foot is burning. Oh, resist the temptation to scratch. And then both knees in and have a little rock side to side. Rock, 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 rock. So just while we're here, if you haven't seen the post, just to remind you, classes this week are today, obviously, we're here, Wednesday and Friday morning, then Sunday evening. Okay, so there is no class tomorrow and no class on Thursday. Just starting to wind these down now as restrictions are being lifted and we can get back to being whatever might be our new normal. So right now your normal feels, you know, we're going to stay at home and do yoga online every day. Maybe we need to start getting back to classes. So let's bring those feet down to the floor, hands down next to the hips. Your feet are at hip distance and you're going to push into your feet, lift the thighs to the sky, make these legs strong, really push the feet down into the floor as if you're pushing down and forward with the feet. It's going to lift the bum, lift the hips. So then we're going to wiggle those shoulder underneath you, and the shoulder blades and the shoulder heads down into the floor. Lift the ribs, lift the heart, lift the chest. This is our last back bend. Few breaths. And then all the way down. So drop in between the shoulders, the back of the ribs, back of the waist, tailbone, last thing to touch the floor. And next inhale, lift up. Press the feet into the floor. Squeeze those thighs together. You don't want the knees splaying open, so thighs are squeezing towards each other. Hip lift, belly lift, ribs lift, shoulders into the floor. So you don't want your back doing the work here. Your work is being done in your legs and your shoulders. Few breaths. Neck should feel safe. There's no pressure at all on the neck. And all the way down. Tailbone, last thing to touch. Bring those knees in, arms out to the side, palms down, and let both knees drop over to the right side. So I think we've taken our spine in every direction. If it feels okay on the neck, you're looking over the left shoulder. And just notice how you feel now. Notice how your energy feels, how your mind feels, your mood, your breath. Back bendings are really invigorating and really good for any respiratory problems as well. So if you suffer with asthma or anything like that, bring those knees back to center and over to the opposite side. Both Shoulder blade staying on the floor. Gaze towards the right if that feels okay on the neck. And bringing it back to center. And bring those arms down by the sides and straighten those legs out onto the mat. Little space between the legs. Allow everything to relax. Just notice the energy flow through the body. Notice any sensations. Notice the space around the heart. I really recommend that you stay in your Shavasana for a few minutes. But nobody wants to see me just lying here on the floor, so I'm going to leave you there. So if you're going to finish with me now, bend the knees. Gently roll over onto the right side and push yourself up to seated. You're welcome, Ruth. You're welcome, Frida. You're welcome, Ali. You're welcome, Carmen. Look, you've all finished before me. You're all typing away and I'm still laying there in Shavasana. Okay, let's not forget our gratitudes. Take the hands behind the back. Take hold of one wrist with the opposite hand. Let the head and chest bow down towards the floor. 3 gratitudes. First and foremost, to yourself, to your yoga practice, and to someone or something in your life that you feel grateful for today. A few blinks to open the eyes, lift the head, lift the chest, bring the hands together. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Stay healthy, stay happy until Wednesday morning. Namaste. Thank you.